German sips with a grin so wide. Pogs on the table can't hide his pride. Creator in the corner starts to glare. Madness sparks and hate fills the air. Stack 'em high, a tower of luck. Germans winning, it feels like pluck. Alice Matt's fury, a brewing storm. Visions of pogs in every form. Pogs are spinning, tables turning. Alice Matt's eyes with fierce fire burning. Germans' laughter echoes loud in a world that's pog-bound proud. Matt sees and he's mad insane. Eyes on fire, can't take the strain. Pogs and pieces drive him to pain. His patience snapping like an old chain. And he's mad insane. Eyes on fire, can't take the strain. Pogs and pieces drive him to pain. His patience snapping like an old chain. Das nie gewinnen, enden Mann. Das nie gewinnen, enden Mann. Alas, my fumes can't take no more. Pogs and slammers hit the floor. It's not about the game you see. It's about what fun could be. Das nie gewinnen, enden Mann. Das nie gewinnen, enden Mann. Das nie gewinnen, enden Mann. Das nie gewinnen, enden Mann.
Good evening. Good evening. At some point, I am going to do an actual video for that Pog song because it needs to happen. I got my phone in the back and on the side so I can see the video to see if it's coming out well on the YouTube side. So far, no drop frames, so I should be good. I'm hoping on Allah, I'm good. Actually, I should be. I should have my overlay on here. This overlay. Because I like it. It's visually nice for these kind of streams. But Massive Panda, how are you? Welcome to the stream. We have a low count right now because Dark Gift is currently streaming and he's got some of my audience there. He knows that Thursday is my time slot, but it's fine. It's fine. No harm, no foul. I will make do with what I have here. And a nice, quiet, entertaining evening before we get to our next intro. And I'll be doing some more videos down the road so I can spice up the intros a bit. Not spice them up, but help with the variety a bit so that this stream can be visually fun and pleasant because my face alone ain't going to make it. But I want to have the camera on because the camera is good for the engagement and people respond better to an actual face on a camera as opposed to just an avatar. So little things you learn in the YouTube game. Speaking of a YouTube game, I started uploading more shorts now and I'm getting some interesting engagement with that. Got a nice amount of subs this week. So thanks to the people that subbed. I think I had about 8 or 9 subs with the 2 videos that I uploaded this week. 1 video. I uploaded the other one last week. So I've been doing like 1 video a week. So I just did one this past week. I uploaded it 2 days ago on the printers era stuff. And I'm finding that doing these streams on the indie comic outliers and looking back on the independent comic movements of yesteryear, there's a lot of things to learn not just with the behavior of these creators, these artists, but also what they accomplished, including our artist for today and some things that he was interestingly involved with. But I just had a moon pie now, so one of my teeth is starting to feel weird. But that's what happens when I eat sweets. So I don't eat sweets often as a result, but I love moon pie. It's one of my favorite desserts, and I can't get enough of it. So, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought for a second. Oh yeah, so in doing these indie comic outlier streams, as I learn about some of these creators, these artists, the history, and the things they were involved with, it's nice to kind of like relate it to events of today, especially in our space, especially when it comes to Comicsgate and all the independence stuff surrounding it and adjacent to it and what have you. And offer these nice little history lessons, these nice little receipts, going back and looking at examples of incidences and events that have happened in comics. For example, printers errors, and learning about those. And it was a good way to tie things together and to bring things into perspective. So with those videos, I've been getting some subs. My channel's starting to grow now, and I also started uploading shorts, and I'm seeing some increase in engagement with the shorts. So I appreciate you guys who are watching right now, and I do know that when these streams progress over the course of the hour, the view count does grow. So we get the initial core that show up in the first 10 or so minutes before we jump into the double digits, and then it gets pretty interesting from there. But Blanchcast says, hey, yo, what's up, Blanchcast? Well, I seen you there. Colin with the foul language. I'm going to D-wording destroy this. JD says, hi, Entamon. But Colin corrects me, it's Aunt Jemima. That's what's really being said in that Pog song. Aunt Jemima. $2 from Colin. Thanks for the super chat. Oh, wow. Already we're getting the, I'm getting a hot cup of coffee from my beloved lady Shadow Band.
You gotta pay to hear the D word.
Yes. There you go.
You got a super chat if you wanted to say it. Sorry.
If you want to bring YouTube TOS, you gotta pay me to say the D word and the Q word and all the other racist terminology. So let me take a sip of this. As I read the $2 super chat from Colin, he says, okay, he says, okay, hold on, I gotta prepare for this. All right, Colin, so you paid. This is how it works. When you guys pay me to say racist stuff, I say it because you're paying me for it. So here we go. Road Warrior Drake is canonically a duck. This is from Colin. He made me say that. He made me say that. He made me say Road Warrior Drake is canonically a duck, even though he's not. But he made me say it. So, are you happy, Colin? You made me go further than anyone else in the community has done. So you should be glad that those $2 were well spent. Because most people would kill to have me say that. You actually went the extra step and you got me to say it. That means my haters and detractors are going to clip that and they're going to undermine my enterprises now. Thanks to you, Colin. And all it cost you was $2. Andrea Curry says, your teeth feels weird, huh? Yeah, because of the I had the moon pie, and sometimes like with the sweet, it makes my teeth feel weird. So I try to avoid sweets altogether. Some sweets I can eat, some I just avoid. So Guy says, oh, so this is Guy. He's not this guy in his room, but he's Guy because he's in the band zone. Him and Colors and Jabbage are in the band zone. So when I highlight their chat, it's to show people that these are the people you don't respond to. Don't engage with them. They're in the band zone. So Guy's like, your channel isn't going to stop lying. See, Guy, you're mad because I have influence now. I have significance now. I'm a legit creator, just like Todd McFarlane and Frank Miller. They're my peers now. So that makes you mad, and I understand that. You're seething. The anger comes out like lava from a volcano, and I get that. And I totally sense it from you, and it's okay. You are human, and you have been subject to those emotions. So I expect you to continue that. So it's perfectly fine. But I have influence now, and you can't hurt me no more. I am untouchable. So it's, so there you go. I think I have, yes, Carl, you've ascended. You have ascended, and you should be lauded for that. Yes, I said teeth, Angela. I really meant just one tooth, but that coffee feels good now with that. So is Guy any like me or French? No, Guy is just gay. Guy is just gay. So that's all you need to know. And then I see Colin has put in the link to his Emerald Man comic. You can find it on Global Comics for free. I think he's on issue 20 now. This guy is putting him out there. He is putting his stuff out there. So you got to catch up on Emerald Man and his funky art style, which is awesome to look at. So Oh no, I got an admission from the chat. Oh, this probably hurts him. Tiny Wimey Lamey, also known as our resident um, Captain Infinity. He says Peanut is a legitimate creator now, as much as it pains me to admit it. I know it hurts you, but the pain that you emote is my award, my prize, my trophy. So I sense the victoriousness in that. I do, I really do. Okay, let's go to the next intro. You know which intro this is, right? Wait, should we play? Oh, of course, we got to play for my girl. Here we go.
You stole my heart, you intercepted it. Now you're gone, have to accept it. Did I meet your mom too soon? Or did I do what I always do? Yeah, we made it to the 50, and then you kissed me. We made it to the 40, a new love story. We made it to the 30, and you did me dirty right then. You put the end in tight end, and as I touched down, just like you in a game, I'm in another town, and nothing feels the same. Wish I could go back when we met that day. Oh, whoa, and throw a flag on the play.
As I was watching that, I'm like, I obtained a decent library of music that I can play now without getting copyright hits. I had some stuff donated to me by Prime, some of his AI stuff that he donated to me. So, and I got some music by a friend of mine. I got to reach out to him to let him know I'm using it, but music that he did like years ago that I can use now without copyright issues. So it'll be fun now playing stuff that I don't have to worry about getting struck over. The only songs I really only play that has any copyright issues, and all I get is a revenue share, is Nina Runaway, that song that plays as my outro that you guys absolutely love. So yes, Colin says the Horror Babylon playing. You're giving her too much credit if you think she's a Horror Babylon. I mean, I'm not saying she's not a horror, but you know, Babylon, I don't know. Although I can see the similarities between her and Maria from Metropolis, so I guess I can see that. Yeah, I suppose I can definitely see it. But yeah, now with this library of music that I have, I can do a lot more videos and really spice up these streams more, especially to keep it on brand. So I'm looking forward to adding more to the channel and investing back in the channel. But I think Plungecat, what's Plungecat's comment? He made a comment here that I did want to address. He did put it in the chat. I think let's see. I did see a Plungecat. Maybe my YouTube is kind of a But he made a comment about I need more bright light for the camera iris. Ideally, I would like to have like lights like around more or less like over here to illuminate the background even better. I'm using the top light to do this. I had the lamp on. I was going to put the other lamp on here and just keep those lights on, but I checked it out and I'm like, it makes it look dark and, you know, it's not that pleasant. Ideally, you know, certain kind of light makes the viewing experience pleasant. The overhead light is like not too pleasant. That's why I have the overlays to give more of a visual aesthetic. So, like I said, I'm playing with a lot of things right now to make these things more aesthetic. And also at some point with the indie comic outlier streams, I'm gonna go back and start redoing some of the older ones because doing these other guys like as of recent and learning about more about the underground and alternative movements, I feel like I have more to contribute per person. So I won't do it for all of them, just for some that I feel like I can do better on. So I may go back into Gilbert Shelton. Let me say it right. Gilbert Shelton. I may do Gilbert Shelton again because his name has been popping up a lot in the last few weeks doing these reviews, especially the when I did the streams on the comic anthologies and the comic magazines. Like his name popped up a lot. And I'm like, you know what? I have to go back and redo him. And also who else? I said Gilbert Shelton. I'll have to look back, but I feel like I can do better with some of these guys. So you'll be seeing more of that, but it'll be better because there'll be more visual components and more consistency with the release of information. So looking forward to that. Oh, he wants Pixel. Oh, you mad because my internet is actually functioning right now? I'm sorry, home. Oh wait, should I give you the link? Let me give you the link if you want to pop up. If you can't, I totally understand. I don't mind if you blow me off because I'm used to it because I know I am a pariah, so it's okay if you don't want to, if you can't come on. But I'm just gonna send you the link anyway because I can just shoot my shot. Plunge cat, there you go. I am the what king? Is that a puppy icon? Or a monkey icon? I can't tell what that because there's a crown next to it. I know that's a crown, but I don't know what that animal next to that is. If it's a puppy or a fox. But long kiss to my later shadow band. In chat flies, don't be offended if you get one, just eat it. A banana? Why wouldn't I eat a banana? Bananas are good. They're good source of fiber, and I'm actually gonna start altering my diet just a bit so I can replace one of my meals with a fruit salad. I'm gonna be nice and fit before I go to Heroes Con in June. So that will be happening in June 20th. I'll be heading down to North Carolina June 19th. And then that whole weekend I'm there. I'm going to just have fun, meet all the guys that are going to go there, take some pictures, sell some books, make some memories. So that's what I'm going to do for Heroes Con. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, we got Tim Olson in the chat. He says, what up, Eliza? What up, Tim Olson? Good to see you. Glad that you can make it. And full of racist vitamins. You mean racism? Everything with you people is race. Everything. Can't have nice things, right? Can't have nice things. Ever. Never Nugan. So here's our theme song.
Deep in the inky graveyard, dark as the night, there among forgotten pencils, a duck takes flight. Alice not the history duck tells us forgotten tales about creators long lost in a cabinet frail. He's been putting in a mile of research. He quacked up every flock perch. This Irishman aggressively knows his stuff. He's here to share the truth without a bluff. Duckman, oh Duckman, extolling the dead. Duckman, oh Duckman, what's got in your head? Simmons, Emerson, Panther and Ray, ancient artists surviving off of vodka and Ben Gay. Alice Mack, duck of the Indies, Malin's favorite theft. He knowledge of comics far off the old rap. He swims out of the lanes to find hidden bayous, strange creators and obscure adult new. Duckman, oh Duckman, extolling the dead. Duckman, oh Duckman, what's got in your head? Simmons, Emerson, Panther and Ray, ancient artists surviving off of vodka and Ben Gay. So hang with the quackers deep in the comic graves. See Alice Matt's treasures, the sort that he craves. Do you know about these guys and do you care? A Duck Lord is willing and he's got plenty to share. Duckman, oh Duckman, extolling the dead. Duckman, oh Duckman, what's got in your head? Simmons, Emerson, Panther and Ray, ancient artists surviving off of vodka and Ben Gay. Alice Matt should be quack congratulated. Do not mallard shun. He's busy peeking into the facts. Don't wink at him while he's hunting for snacks. For snacks. Duckman, oh Duckman, extolling the dead. Duckman, oh Duckman, what's got in your head? Simmons, Emerson, Panther and Ray, ancient artists surviving off of vodka and Ben Gay. Alice Mack to be quack gratulated. Do not mallard shun. He's busy peeking into the facts. Don't wink at him while he's hunting for snacks. Duckman, oh Duckman, extolling the dead. Duckman, oh Duckman, what's got in your head? Simmons, Emerson, Panther and Ray, ancient artists surviving off of vodka and Ben Gay.
You guys in the chat are kind of weird. Like, I didn't make that. Well, I did make the video, but the images were from Burkaman. Shout out to Burkaman. Let Burkaman know I'm shouting him out. He's awesome. And his video editing skills have improved in his recent videos. They're awesome. But no, he designed the muscular. I just animated. I didn't really animate. I did it with AI to animate the things, the drawings that he did, or these aren't drawings he did. He reduced AI images, and I turned them into AI video, and there you go. So it's comedy, laugh. It's not supposed to be serious, you people. But anyways, so Great Claudia says he had a super chat that got refunded. Well, then try it again, see if it'll work again. So I've had that happen to me before, right? Super chatted somebody, and they got refunded back to me. So before I begin today's stream, I want to show you guys my recent purchase. I got Epitaphs from the Abyss. This is the collection from EC Comics. This is some of the newest stuff. Yes, EC Comics, the publishers for Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror and all those other comics. They're doing new stuff. So this one collects issues number 1 to 4 of Epitaphs from the Abyss. So now that I've completed work on my books, and I'll get to that in a second. Now that I've completed work on the books, I have some more time to devote to like entertainment and leisure activities. So I'll be doing more reading and more movie watching. So I'm looking forward to that. And going back to my stuff. So as you know, I have created the first book in the Road Warrior Drake saga, Street Champion Road Warrior Drake. And I got the second book, Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake. Fulfillment was going to continue. So between tomorrow and Monday, I'll be shipping out more books to backers. So be on the lookout for that. My first set of backers got their books, so I'm waiting to hear for feedback on what they thought of the story. But more books are going out this week, so I'm looking forward to that. And the manga, this is the proof copy. The manga is currently still being printed at the shop. I should be getting it either tomorrow or next week. Oh wait, I'm holding upside down. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna be getting either tomorrow, the proof copy to tomorrow or next week. But this is the first proof copy. I had to reformat. Oh, they got that music playing in the background. Copyright strike incoming. Here we go. I told the shadow man, it's okay, open the windows, the stuff in here. I'm not worried about noise. And of course, somebody's got to come and blast the Spanish music. So they got to be all ethnic on me and shit. But this is the proof copy for the manga. Proof copy number 1. I'm waiting for proof copy number 2. And then if it all goes well, then I'll be getting those books next week. And then mass fulfillment will begin after that. So right now I'm just doing the fulfillment of the orders that I can fulfill, which includes the trade paperback, as well as the hardcover. Let me get my hardcover over here. Let's see here. I got the Street Champion World War Drake hardcover. Okay, did I set aside a hardcover for myself? I don't think I did. But I'll just show this. This is the proof hardcover copy. I got a copy for myself, but I guess I didn't take it out. What I did because I do have a copy. I did take out my hardcover of Street Champion Road Warrior Drake, so I should have the hardcover for Beast Citizen. But this is the proof copy, right? Is this a proof copy? I think it's a proof copy. So the hardcovers are going out too, and once I get the manga, then mass orders, like those that had multiple books back, those will start going out. And some of those orders include, where is it? They also include, oh, here it is, the Pumpkin War Patch floppy issue number 1. So people that ordered this also order copies of Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake. So you'll be getting that as well. So yeah, we are getting books printed here. And I'm excited because I like talking about the books that I make. And I like sharing that because it goes back to what we're doing here on these streams with the Indie Comic Outliers. And today's spotlight is on Paul Mavrides. So, hold on, let me approve some comments here. There we go. So I see that Colors is in the chat with her violence. Oh, wait, I got a paper cut on the copy I bought. I plan to sue. Well, good. I hope you do, because everything you've done is going to go on public record. So I dare you. Justice is finally going to come for you, Colors. It's finally going to come. Looking forward to my comic and the ash can. Awesome, as a panda. Can't wait to send it out to you. So I hope that you're going to be the next batch that I send out, because I don't know who's who. I backed it, and I don't want to know. Your private info stays with me. I don't get involved in any of that. All I say is I hope that the next batch of people that I'm sending it out to, I hope you're one of those, because you come to my stream often, and I'm looking forward to your feedback. So I Tim, why is it that when I issue my opinion and my feelings on things. You think because I'm colored that I'm automatically angry. What's wrong with you? We're progressive here. This is 2025. Leave the Jim Crow attitude back in the 60s where it belongs. We are now unified and we are tolerant today. What's wrong with you? I will not be put in a box by you. I am not angry. I am emotionally intelligent, as they say. Emotional intelligence. Yes, I said it the way I said it. I can do that. I can do that. And I should shrink my screen for a second because, okay, there we go. Well, you don't see the bear that much. Is there a way to put my face on the side? I don't think there is. So I have to stick with what I got in terms of the format. So let me go ahead and upload. Not upload. Well, yeah, kind of upload, but let's see. Looking at my list of... Let's share my screen. Let me share my screen here for a second. Okay. And this is one of Paul Mavrides' pieces. This is a play on The Starry Night by, was it Starry Night Van Gogh? I think so. But this is from Mavrides. This was 1977, I think it was. I don't know what year it was, but this is called Starry Night in Amsterdam by Paul Mavrides. Now, who's Paul Mavrides? Mavrides was one of the guys in the underground comics movement, but it's funny because when you research him, his library or even his life story isn't as extensive as you would think. Someone like a R. Crumb or even Gilbert Shelton, like those guys. What's up, Henry? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Let me remove the overlay for this because actually I'll put the other overlay on the top of me so that way I'm not obscured. So I will never ever get used to the Talk Studio design. I just can't. As much as I think I can do it, I can't do it. So here we go. Okay. But it has the Cash App on it. So I don't do Cash App now because now I get Super Chat. So let me see. Can I use this? No, there's nothing there. How about this? Nothing there either. So let me just get rid of some of these. This is last week's, so I can get rid of this. But shout out to Flip City, Katie Phillips and Scott representing. Shout out to them. Well, I guess I can keep it there for now, I suppose. I mean, in case you don't want to do Super Chat, but for those that still do Cash App, I guess you can Cash App me, but no pressure. No pressure. I do have to redo the overlay so I can get rid of the Cash App thing. So it almost looks like art. Wait, here, art from Ralph Snart. Well, if you remember, Tim, as we do these streams and we spotlight each creator, you're gonna notice that a lot of them share similarities visually with one another. It's like when you're in a pack or you're in a group and you're in a whatever era of art that you're in, you're naturally going to feed off people around you, your peers around you. Not 100%, and not every single person will, but more often than not, you do kind of feed off a little bit. You get the one or two outliers in that group of outliers that are 100% just different. So, but yeah, that was one of his pieces. Now, Mavrides didn't have like a single comic IP or series that he did. Most of his stuff was seen in the magazines like Zap and Weirdo, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But this is a piece called Care Dog Meets Bear. No, Care Dog Meets Bear. That's what it is. Yeah. So you can see a little bit of the combination of cartoonish style and a little bit of detailed drawing, and now you see where I got the bear from. So Mavrides worked on Freak Brothers with Gilbert Shelton. Yeah, he collaborated with Gilbert Shelton on that, and a lot of his early stuff. A lot of his early stuff was all collaborations. Freak Brothers was one of those, and we'll go into later on with Zap. He also did American Splendor, Harvey Prekar's American Splendor, and it's kind of hard like finding issues online to show his stuff because he was only one of the artists featured in each issue. But I found this PDF. This is American Splendor number 14, I think. I think it's 14, American Splendor. So This is not on the left. No, I'm sorry, on the right. This is Mavrides, the LA performance scene. By the way, Mavrides is from San Francisco. He's another one of these creators that is from the San Francisco scene. San Francisco was like one of the main scenes of the indie comic underground movement from the 60s and 70s. It's just what it was. It's just how it was. Like it was one of the, in terms of like the United States, it was in that, it was like an epicenter. So, but yeah, this is Mavrides' contribution to American Splendor #4. American Splendor was made into a movie, by the way. And Mavrides actually contributed to a lot of Hollywood movies, including Comic Book Confidential. So he's active in the entertainment scene, not just in comics. He puts himself there with the films as well. Let me see if I can enlarge this even further. Now the art style here is pretty good. It's very nicely detailed. It's not the kind of art style that we talk about on these streams, because this is technically the type of art you would see in like the mainstream comic studios, DC and Marvel. But he had a wide range. And the thing that you see here is the usage of blacks, the ink, you racist, and detail where it's necessary. So look at this for a second. Look how the detail is in the characters in the forefront, but then in the back, it's more simplicity. And that's how you want to design your panels. You don't have to get too detailed per panel. You want the eyes to be able to travel to the width and the length of the panel. So you want to be able to see what's going on. So it's a nice use of heavy inks for the background. I think the panel on the lower right, that looks like the guy from Clerks. Am I wrong? I think it kind of looks like him. But yeah, definitely, and you can see like a little bit of the edgy humor that was a staple of the underground movement of the 60s and 70s. Although this is an older comic, but I mean, not an old comic, it's probably more recent, but the sentiment is still there. The flavor is still there. So, checking the chat for a second. Let's see. Massive Man says, I always wanted to get my copy of American Splendor, but I've never sent them out in the wild. I have a feeling I never will. Yeah, a lot of these books, you gotta they're available online, and you gotta do the legwork and just see them online. And it's just the way it is, you know? So, but, and I even hear like some copies of Zap that don't get reprinted. I'm going to talk about that later. I don't want to jump too ahead. I'll touch on that in a second when I get to the Zap section of this. But Henry Bean says, I met Mavrides at San Diego Comic-Con back in the 90s. He was really approachable, gave me a little sketch. Nice. But you know what I think, Henry? When I talk about these guys, like they're out constantly working with each other. And some of them were even active, like just doing things outside of comics. So they were constantly like associating with or engaging with people. And I mean like engaging in person, not sitting in front of a computer on a stream link or whatever. I mean, not that was available back then, but I'm just saying like there was an expectation to actually integrate with the community, physical community, and actually talk to actual people and engage and all that stuff. So it doesn't shock me that you found him approachable, because there had to be a sense of people skills to get ahead in the scene. Even if you were socially awkward like Art Crumb, he still interacted with people. There was still that. So I'm not surprised that he was approachable. Conversely, you get like comic pros, and I'm not throwing shade at comic pros, but they work in a cubicle most of their lives, so they're not really used to talking to people or engaging with people, because their respective studio that they work for does it for them. So it's in general observation. Now, obviously, it's not true for every single person, but in general, yeah, that's a thing. The probability of meeting people like that from the pro mainstream or the underground, there's a probability that their stereotypes would actually come out like that. So what you have on screen looks more classic, like some of the artwork in those really old strips they used to reprint in the newspapers, kind of. I think you lose a lot of references here. and I have it on. I have it on that one shot with the guy on the toilet. But yeah, it's definitely uses a lot of reference, and it does seem to evoke that old classic comic strip style. So yeah. So Captain Infinity says my text is so perfectible. Might get a job working for Ripperverse. The fact that I was able to read that is I'm impressed that I was able to read that. I really am. I didn't stumble. I don't think so. I'm sorry, Guy. I'm sorry, Guy. I didn't know that ignoring you hurt you so much. I thought you didn't mind if I ignored you, Guy. Well, that's what you get for being in the ban zone, for harassing and insulting me. Now you know what it feels like to be in the ban zone. It ain't a good thing. You know that. You know that, Guy. Now you feel it, Guy. Now you feel it. Let me see. I guess I'll read one of Guy's insults. Let me see. Let's look for his insult for a second. Okay, Guy. Okay, Guy, you want me to insult you back? Let's see. Let's see what you wrote. Hold on. Okay, here's a Cash App. You really are a pock. You should think of that one yourself, Guy. I already said you don't got to do the Cash App. I got to update the overlay to get rid of it because now I get a super chat. So you can super chat me. As a matter of fact, why don't you super chat me your insults? That way I can say it word for word verbatim. Because now I'm censoring you, Guy. You're getting censored. How you like them apples? I like apples. Apples are good for the digestive system. So I got to put more apples back in my diet. And I will too. I absolutely will. Am I on a blockchain? No, you're just in the ban zone. You're in the ban zone. You're just banned. That's it. $2, Michael Deitch. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate the $2. He says, excellent content lately. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And you're referencing the videos I'm uploading, and now I'm doing the shorts as well. So, that's funny because in one of the videos I did, one of the comments was like, for a guy who tends to avoid drama, you sure doing a lot of drama farming. And like, I'm not drama farming. I'm reporting what's going on, and I'm putting context with stuff that has happened in the comic scene before. Because it's not just me saying, well, you shouldn't be harping over printer errors. Let's show some printer errors of the past that were actually pretty famous printer errors that resulted in them being collectibles. Let's talk about that. Because honestly, I think harping over someone's printer errors. Look, you can have your opinion. It's fine. But to get obsessively. I think what I'm trying to say is to get that mad because your competition made printers errors and is actually working with its customers to do right by them is dumb. And it's so disingenuous. So going back and showing examples of famous printer errors and showing a man that is actually working to fix that is good content. And it should help you to humble yourselves. And I don't mean anybody in particular, but humble yourselves in that, okay, well, some guy made a printer error. As long as he's doing right by his customers, who cares? So, well, Colin, I'm surprised you're not there either. I think, Colin, you've mastered the art of towing the line. You've mastered it because you've said some really horrendous things, but then you've managed to say some things that have balanced it out. So I think people need to learn from you, and that way they can avoid the ban zone. Like Guy over here, the FA puts any cash up you know. I'm already on a watch list, Guy. I'm already on a watch list, so it doesn't matter. What's another watch list to me, right? Please, what's another watch list to me? That doesn't matter. Wait. Andrew Curtis Glee gives the last man a bad review because of all the abuse. You mean Guy? Guy. His name is Guy. So, okay, I'm behind in the chat. Let me go back. Let me go forward a bit. Okay, no, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, I'm caught up in the chat. So, awesome. So yeah, this is an example, as we're seeing here, of Mavrides from American Splendor. Not exactly the best example in terms of the intent of the streams, but it shows an example of the quality of his art. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you this, guys. I'm gonna show you this. This is Bob's favorite comic. So this is the interesting bit of information regarding Mavrides' contribution to life. Okay, this is one of his magazines he did. Literature for a church called the Church. What is it called? It's called the Church of Subgenius. Okay, now it is a parody religion, but apparently So okay, so what's the Church of Subgenius? So it's a parody religion that was created by a few people. Mavrides was one of the founding members of it, and it okay. So they have this guy named Bob who's a salesman. This is a fictional guy, but he's a salesman who's supposedly the guy of their religion. Okay, and the story goes that in 1953 that Bob saw a vision of Jehovah One. That's the God in the parody religion, Jehovah One. He saw a vision of him on a television set, and Jehovah One said, and Jehovah One inspired him to write or dictate this thing called the Prescriptures. And this is what was led to the founding, quote unquote, founding of the quote unquote church, the Church of Subgenius. So according to the theology, Bob is like the greatest salesman who ever lived, and he's cheated death a number of times. So I guess he got, they try to run him over or whatever, they try to poison him, but he's cheated it a number of times. So Bob, who apparently is a target of death threats, survived all of his attempts. So that is why he's the central figure of this said quote unquote religion. He's revered for his great follies. Okay, he's also the savior of slack. But according to legend, he was assassinated in San Fran, which is where Paul Mavrides is from. So, coincidence? He was assassinated in 1984. Now, the church claims he came back from the dead several times since then. But like how they have Elvis sightings? Well, Bob the Salesman has been sighted many times since he was killed in 1984. So he is like the Joseph Smith of their religion. But except he's the greatest salesman who ever lived. We need more salesmen in our reigns. So Paul Rubens, aka Pee Wee Herman, is one of the members of this religion, and so is R. Crumb. And R. Crumb actually reprinted Subgenius pamphlet #1 in Weirdo magazine, and Paul Mavrides also contributed to the magazine as well some of the pamphlets for the Church of the Subgenius. So it's interesting, and then I think a whole stream should be dedicated to that. I only talked a little bit, like I'm just giving you some surface stuff, and I was considering should I dedicate like 20 or 30 minutes on this? I'm like, no, it'd be an interesting topic for another stream. I don't know if I should do the whole 20 or 30 on this particular stream because I'm just focusing on the art. But I bring this up because it's part of what he did in terms of his artistic career. That he contributed a lot of his artistic talents to this religion. So I had no clue about it. Oh wait, Andrew's Bob is in hell. Ouch! Don't say that. Don't say that out loud. Please don't say that out loud. He's revered in their religion, Angela. Don't say that. That's blasphemy. Oof, that hurt. That stunk. That really stunk. I know Georgina. I'm like, oof, shit. That hurt me too. Poor Bob. Bob is a great guy. Think about this, the greatest salesman that's ever lived. Like, you understand that being a salesman is a skill, right? Like, it involves being a people person, having those social skills to go up to somebody and having a conversation with them, learning to smile and eye contact. And that, believe it or not, it doesn't involve calling your competitors certain racial slurs or gossiping about them like high school girls on a stream. No, it actually involves sitting down one-to-one with them and engaging in a conversation, hearing them out, listening to them, and engaging in what they're sharing with you. Salesmen do that, and that's a skill. And he's one of the best ever. No, he's the greatest salesman ever. Bob is. Listen, if you meet a man named Bob and he's not a salesman, he's not the greatest. There's only one Bob the salesman, and that's him. He's the greatest ever. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't be this. This is real. So this is okay. So the Church of the Subgenius is a parody religion. Okay, so it's not like they actually believe in this. It's just they founded a fake religion, intentionally fake, and it centered around this Bob the salesman. And this is the Paul Mavrides' art right here. This is his contribution in terms of literature to said church and said religion. So it looks like it could be an ad from the 60s. Well, I mean, he's a salesman, so it probably does have that flavor. One of this is mentioned in the Paul Rubin doc on Max. It's a good question. Because I didn't know about Paul Rubin's involvement in this until I was researching Mavrides. So he might have been involved for a little bit and then dipped. I don't know. But again, this is parody. So this is not I'm not talking about a real religion like Scientology is. And I say Scientology real in the fact that it establishes itself as a religion that gets tax write-off because it's a quote unquote charitable organization and all that stuff, even though I don't think it is a religion, but that's not neither here nor there. I mean, look, it takes a great inventive mind to create a religion based on some dictator from space who transplanted these thetans, alien souls, into a volcano and watches them explode, and these thetans come bursting onto the air, and now they're in the air, entering our bodies, and we have to have those spirits exorcised from us. That's more or less the religion of Scientology in a nutshell. So, but it was just fascinating, and I'm just sitting there wondering, should I really go more into this and really get more details? And I'm like, that will be for a different stream. It would have to be for a different stream. I couldn't just do it for this one. It has to be for a different stream. So there's no way I could dedicate 20 or 30 minutes to this because I feel like I can just do more content with it. So I'm just giving you like the surface level stuff with it because it's good for context, and especially if we're talking about Mavrides. So now he also contributed to Zap, and he actually became the editor. I think it was 1998 for Zap. Let me see. This is one of his contributions to Zap right here. So you can see that he tried to emulate R. Crumb style with the cross hatching a little bit. He tried to do that, and that might have been his way of giving Crumb his due because by this point Crumb kind of had bounced from Zap. And I talked about Zap in that stream from a few weeks ago. The comic anthologies was the comic magazines and anthologies from the underground movements. So you could reference that and get more information from there. And I'm thinking about doing a video because with the Ripper book, Saints and Sinners, and I know we tend to talk more about like Ripper and the Ripperverse and all that stuff, and I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not saying that. I don't talk about it as if you have to read those or you have to acknowledge if they're good or not. But I find a lot of the arguments against like the Ripperverse stuff very disingenuous and phony. So when Ripper announced the Saints and Sinners book, because with the contributions by the the guys like Mahler and Az and Critical Drinker, there was a lot of pushback because those are the YouTubers writing comics and an anthology, like they were scoffing at the notion that an anthology book is something that was something to be mocked. And I'm like, no, anthologies are every bit part of comics like regular floppies are. A lot of our famous characters came from anthology books. I mentioned Batman, who was part of Detective Comics number 27. That was an anthology book. That wasn't a main book featuring Batman. It was part of one story. And again, you go back and watch that stream I did about the comic magazines, which featured a lot of contributions by artists of that time. It serves as an anthology book. So they kind of more or less are the same. Comic magazines tend to be a bit more promotional because they don't just have stories. They'll have like one-piece art and all that stuff. But it still stands to reason that the idea of an anthology is a good idea. You get one book with a lot of writers, and you get multiple stories. And it's like you're paying one for the one cost for multiple products in one package. So he gave his fans what they want. End of story. That's it. End of story. He gave them what they want. So what more can you ask, right? Mavrides, I like how he's managed to create a light source hitting the ground on the floor in that first panel with the choppy lines. I would have effed that up so badly. You talk about the cross hatching, right? Yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah, so cross hatching is definitely a skill unto itself. And sometimes I get nervous when I cross hatch, but then sometimes I just, not sometimes, most of the time, I impress myself. But yeah, that's what you're referring to. It's a great use of the cross hatching, and you pointed it out about the light source. It's very simple, very simple. Did you say criminal? I said critical, Gee. Critical drinker. I was very clear and concise with what I said. Critical drinker. Let me stop my camera for a second because I'm appalled at your attempts to try to undermine what I said. You know what I said. I was very clear with what I said. Let's not pretend you don't know. So, wait, why is Simba talking about demons in the chat? What did I miss? Marvel has a devil character in the universe. One of the Teen Titans is a demon. Like, what am I missing here? Not that you're wrong, but what am I missing here? This underground style is so out there. It's cool that way. Well, again, this is why I do these streams, because there's styles of these artists. I say creative, but no, I hate that term, because a lot of people that write comics are considered creators. I'm talking about artists when I do these indie comic outliers. So I hate to use the word creator. I'm not going to use creator. Call them what they are, artists. I'm not talking about the writers of the underground comics movement or the alternative comics movement. I'm talking about the artists, the ones that actually draw. That's what I'm talking about. So I should reference them as artists. And if you don't think their art styles is cool or good, whatever, that's fine. But they are artists. And some of this stuff is, as you said, it's out there. And it is cool. And that's why they were the alternative to the mainstream, because they weren't creating art style that was comparable to the mainstream. They were trying to do something different. That's why Art Crumb is so revered when it comes to the underground movement, because his stuff is so different from the mainstream, and it became its own brand that was imitated by a lot of his peers, including, as you see here, Mavrides. But as I also showed you, Mavrides had a very eclectic range when it comes to his visual drawing style. Plunge says the first book I had the circle in was this. Okay, I think I'm reading it wrong. So The Circle, that was the name of the book. Small anthology. I also did create comic magazine with 41 pages of complete short comics and tunes back in 2019. Yeah, and if you remember last week, I had Kitty Phillips and Scott from Flip City Magazine on. We were talking about their book, which is an anthology book. And it goes right back to the stream I did a few weeks back with comic anthologies and comic magazines. And more people are starting to understand that, hey, you know what? That's a good way to get some eyes on, because you have different artists on. Please don't call yourself a creative. I'm an artist, Gee. I'm an artist. So there you go. How about that? Didn't you the Ripperverse had a devil in their book, and that's what all the hubbub was about? No, the hubbub was not about the devil character in the book. It was the 2-page spread that he divided. In my personal opinion, it was like a 2-page spread of this devil entity that ripped off this girl's arm while they were dancing. But the 2-page spread was spread out in that you have the first half of the page on the right side, and then you turn the page, and the second half of that spread is on the other side. And he said it was a creative decision. I'll take him at his word, but I don't think it was a good decision. I don't think when it comes to comics, you should reinvent the wheel. Just use what works. Tell your story. Don't let any techniques in a comic disrupt the flow of the story. And that includes being creative, being a little bit too creative with your 2-page spread. But then again, I'm not really a fan of 2-page spreads anyway, so I wouldn't have done it. But so let's see here. Okay, catching up on the chat. Go to the chat. Actually, Plungecast has something interesting. So if you respond to him also, let me see. Okay, we're talking about Bloodroots, right? So Plungecast said the cross in the crotch was a turnoff for me. So recently, a bikini bottom crotch on a female comic character. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Totally can see that. Oh wait, I have a guest in the back. Hold on, let me bring him on. I don't know how long he's been there, but I didn't get the notification. But I'll give him this intro. This one right here.
You know what they say, nobody gives a hummer like a gummer.
How long have you been in the back?
Finally. I was waiting for a long time, and then I fell
Damn it!
asleep.
I didn't even get the notification on my. Well, I probably did, but it was very low.
This was very German from you to ignore me for such a long time.
See, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or what.
It is not.
Well, since I had you in the back and you've heard me rant off, let me hear your thoughts. I'm gonna take a quick minute break or whatever from speaking. I want to hear your thoughts.
On which topic?
Did you not hear what I was talking about?
On the misprints from Ripperverse?
Oh no. Let's go back to Mavrides, the artist that I'm profiling here. This guy.
The guy who draws like Robert Crumb.
Well, this one is pretty R. Crumb inspired, but yeah, go ahead. Let me hear your thoughts so far.
The first picture from his art that you showed, the Van Gogh inspired one. The first thing that came into my mind is that's in Amsterdam. Before you said it.
Tim also wants to know, how do I get on your show? Well, Tim, if you have something to contribute to the topic, I mean, you are a comic book creator. Well, you're a writer, and you do have a comic character called Melvin, issue number 4. So you're putting books out there. So, I guess I can have you on if you're able to contribute to this. Sure, I'll bring you on because I'm sure you have a lot to contribute in terms of like the conversation. So, I guess I'll bring him. Let me bring him on now. I'll tell you what. I'll bring you on, Tim. So you and Helmut can gang up on me because that's what you people do. So I'll put you in the I'll put the link in the Misfits 2 DM room, but I'm only putting it for you though. So don't anybody else that's in that room that comes in, they can't come on. And Plungecast is sending me something here. Let me see. Okay, well, yeah, I'm just reading some DMs right now, but I'm just saying that because I don't want people to think I'm ignoring people. I'm not ignoring you, Plunge. So don't think I am, but can you handle 2 bald men on the stream? I don't know, Plunge. That's a good question. I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out. So it's quite the undertaking. I know. And while we're doing that, let's look at this other piece by Paul Mavrides. So you can see like the range and style. So I know that last piece was R. Crumb inspired, but when you look at this and then you compare it to something like this, you can see his range. He can, with a flip of a switch, he can do something simplistic, but then he'll go to something a bit more realistic based. And that's somebody that is classically trained as an artist. So I'm all for that. I'm 100% for that. Ryan Chris Gossett goes, "What's up, Alas?" Oh, he said Alas. He says As. I'm not heels versus babyface. Come on, Brian. You're better than that. You know better than that. Come on. I'm very disappointed in Brian Crisco. Okay, Matt Bennett says, I'm just joking, Brian. Matt Bennett says, Ed Pisco's art reminds me of Mavrides now that I think about it, especially his work in the Red Room series, where he was using more of those hatch lines, more than I remember in the Hip Hop Anime Tree. I have those books, the Red Room books. I read one of them so far. I like the art. The art definitely aligns with the style that we talk about in these streams. I wasn't crazy about the story. I got to reread it because I have like questions about the alignment of or not the alignment, the order in which they're actually supposed to be read. KSS. Well, look who is in the chat. KSS. After backstabbing me because you're on someone else's chat because they're too good, right? Because you're too good for me, right? Why don't you have a leadership board? It's because YouTube knows you're a POC. I'm protected, KSS. I'm protected. I'm absolutely protected. Anyway, let's bring my guest on, and let's see what he can contribute. I'll play this intro for him. You have
Hey,
the
what's
camera
up?
on?
Yeah, that's right.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you guys playing music in the background?
No, I finished my dinner at Jack in the Box. So,
Oh, okay. So you're in a public establishment.
yep.
Wait, hold on. Put that up again. Put that up again. What is that?
It's
There you go. Product placement. Okay. Look at that. So we got background noise. We have a German and me because I am relevant.
yes, you are.
Now, Tim, you've been watching the stream. So, what can you contribute in terms of Mavrides?
I like that panel. Is that hand drawn dialogue?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, let's look at that. Because a lot of these artists do hand draw their own dialogue. They don't like have like a set of established fonts. So I'm gonna say that this is all hand drawn, and you can see the discipline in the text.
Yeah, this is definitely something that I don't know if you picked up like a magazine or one of those free newspapers that would advertise like a show somewhere, or they usually have like comic strips in the back of them like that look like that. Some obscure, just absurd underground comic or something.
And if you noticed, the word balloon, it doesn't give that much space between the words. It kind of similar to what I did with my Be Citizen Road Warrior Drake book. I would do the word balloons. I would give it a little bit of space from between the line of the balloon and the text, but not that much space. It kind of closes in a bit, so it feels like the dialogue or the word balloons are part of the art. And I actually visually, I like it because it looks busy and it adds the cartoony flavor to it.
You know, that art also reminds me of Spy versus Spy. Who created Spy versus Spy? I wonder if that had. I wonder if that also had an influence on them, on whoever created that one.
Well, I mean, Mad Magazine was definitely inspired by the underground movement, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and then like I said, Ralph Snart was created by Mark Hansen. I wonder if he took any inspiration from this guy.
Okay. The only thing I'm going to ask Tim, just when you're not speaking, to mute your mic because the background noise is kind of like a little bit like is there anything? Only when you're not talking. When you're talking, please unmute and that's it. But Brian says underground / head shop comics blew my mind as a kid. That was my first big realization of the potential of comics as a medium to do wild and unpredictable things. You know, it's interesting, Brian, because I always thought that too. Like when I joined Comics Game back in 2018, I thought, oh, the sky's the limit now. We're back to creating comics that are weird and just all kinds of.
It should be that way.
It should be. No, you know what? I thought it was. And it wasn't. And I learned that the hard way because I got like pushback from a lot of like creator. I hate that word creator. I really do. Like that annoys me to no end because
it's like an umbrella term.
Yeah, exactly. Because it puts writers and artists in the same. And look, writers are important because I am totally an advocate for like writing and comics being just as important, if not more important, than the artwork in comics. But that
because it is.
Yes, exactly, and I will advocate for that. By the way, you're kind of loud. Or is that my volume? I think it's my volume. But no, you're good. You're good, Tim. It's my volume. But that being said, though, like there is a difference between someone that writes a book and someone that draws a book. And when it comes like the art style of it, like the art services the story. So not everything has to look the same. And I've made that point many times over in these streams. Not everything has to look the same. There's definitely room for variety. Yeah, Matt's Man is definitely hand drawn. It looks really good. Yeah, no, the handwritten font shows discipline. And that actually reminds me of
you hand draw your dialogue as well?
No, I do it. I used Clip Studio and I use the fonts that they have, and I actually download fonts. Like I use a certain kind of fonts that don't come with the app. So I look for certain fonts because it's easy for people that when they put their comics together to use the Comic Sans font or like whatever the standard font is for comics. But I use like different types of fonts for my books because I want the style to be part of the visual aesthetic of the book.
Would you ever attempt to do dialogue in your next book, or is that just
maybe? I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I really am not. Like, it would be kind of like interesting to do something like that for the next book, because I am dedicating each book to have its own separate, unique art style, so that way that each one is different from the other visually. So maybe I might consider handwriting the dialogue.
And after Road Warrior Drake, what you think there's going to be like maybe we go back to Clock People, or you think of something brand new, or
No, so I, in order for me to keep the trademark, I have to continue doing World War Drake books, but I'm doing floppies. What I'll do is I'll do floppies that are set during the era of the free graphic novels. So it'll be kind of like a series based on the graphic novels. So,
I see. Well, where do you see Road Warrior Drake going from where you're at now?
you know what? I don't have a set direction. I mean, I have an idea, but I don't have a set direction because everything that I've done with Drake has happened organically, based on what the community puts out there and how I respond to it, and like, oh, hey, that's a good idea. Maybe I should put that for the book. Mazapana says, I recall all those word balloons placed years ago saying you shouldn't have the balloon outlined so close to the letters. I'm getting really tired of other people and their rules. Well, Mazapana, this is why people like me have to exist, because we don't have rules. We just do, you know, and I know exactly what you're saying. And let me just enlarge my screen for a second, okay? Since Tim brought it up, let me just so you'll notice with the word balloons in my book here, same thing. Like I don't keep them like they're a little closer to the words because I wanted to create that visual aesthetic with the text and the images. And I've talked about that often on these streams, and specifically with the Fletcher Hanks, because Fletcher Hanks did this. And even with the EC comics, like when they did the word balloons, the characters were, well, the balloons themselves were closer towards the text. So I'm sure here's another page, for example, with the word balloons and how they're used, and like it becomes part of the visual. And I learned to love that when I was reading Fletcher Hanks, of all people, and then seeing that done in the EC comics, I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna go with the word balloons for Road Warrior Drake. Okay, it says number one. Well, that says King number one. Their last went digging again, putting the whole world in trouble. I don't know what that means. I didn't ask for a free TV, KSS. So you should be safe for tonight, at least for tonight. Last man, I bet your comic would be great with handwritten letters. I'm considering it for the next book.
Wait, you're gonna get a free TV?
Well, if people piss me off, Tim, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna go to Walmart and get a free TV. So yeah.
Oh no! Don't piss them off. So they'll go to Walmart.
Oh, why? Because I have an opinion. Is that why? Is that why, Tim? Oh wait, is Guy lying? Is Guy lying, or did my thing not show up correctly? I'm gonna assume he's lying. So, because he's Guy, he does that. Okay, wait. So let me try this again. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Let's see if it shows up again. So, as that motorcycle passes, loud ass motorcycle. Let me go back to that page that I was showing with the word balloon and how it integrates with the panel. I mean, it looks okay on my end. It's a little choppy, but you can see it. So here it is again. So yeah, I mean, I see it. What's wrong with you people? Okay, now it's choppy.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I know you can see it. You can see it because you're on the studio, but I'm looking at it from the YouTube side. So there we go.
Okay, yeah, they do look really nicely placed.
Yeah. So that was something I was committed to, and it paid off. I think it paid off. But
it looks like you kind of typed it to mimic the style of what you were saying.
Yeah.
The underground lettering. Yeah.
Yes. Now speaking of, so going back to Mavrides, so yeah, he printed some of this Church of Subgenius stuff with Weirdo, and then he was working on Zap Comics. Zap Comics was he inherited the editor position from R. Crumb. And I talked about that in the comic magazine stream, so you could look back on that. But in 1997, he was involved in a legal battle in California, Paul Mavrides, and he won a lawsuit for artist rights in California. And what happened was this lawsuit was to establish what they called a legal equivalency between written word authors and cartoonists. So this this prevented the state of California from putting a sales tax on comic strips and comic books. So with the victory, Mavrides, he was quoted saying that it's gratifying that after 5 years of struggle, the state of California, through the decision of the Board of Equalization, has officially and rightfully recognized that what cartoonists and comic creators trade in are ideas, not pieces of paper. So this is like a First Amendment battle. That
It wasn't over an IP or anything. It was over First Amendment, right?
yeah, it was the freedom of speech, and it was about, I guess, bringing legitimacy to cartooning, and treating them as literature. Student of God, under his alt, ha 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 ha. Is that a Jew noise? No, he's somewhere eating. He's somewhere eating. So this is anti-Semitic D word, man. See, this is why I told Tim to mute his mic when he's not talking. Tim, you got to mute your mic when I'm talking, because if not, people are going to think that I'm committing a pogrom, and I don't want people to think I'm committing a pogrom because I just got monetized on YouTube. So please don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
What? I muted myself. What?
I'm just saying, because people are complaining about the noise apparently, because that's what they do. They complain, they harass, they target, and then they meme. And memes kill, so please don't.
They meme hard. I know.
They kill. They absolutely kill. So.
Well,
It is a safe space. Yeah, no, it is a safe space, student of God. This is why you have to allow me to exist, because I'm not allowed anywhere else. This is the only safe space on the internet that I have as my channel.
Yeah, stop oppressing him.
That's why I have people like Gee and Colors and Jabbage in the ban zone, because they're oppressors and they ruin my stated mission goal of being in a safe space, existing, and allowing myself to be part of the solution of diversity and tolerance and all that stuff. So, Lunchcast wants to show us first comment. Maybe I'll bring you on next show. Maybe I'll bring you on. We can have that conversation about the next indie comic outlier, and then we can do that. So that will be, because I do want to make these streams kind of like a mixture of that. When I promote, things that don't involve guys like Fascist Kirk spelling out the no words. Spelling out the no words. What's wrong with you? Oh, that says ninji. Oh no, it's a hard R. There we go, hard R. Okay, I think we have a guest in the back. Sure, I'll bring him on. Let me bring him on with this intro right over. Actually, let me take a quick break. Let's play this one here, since it's comic related. Magic Panda has the spider beaties, yes, and I had that is Plunchcast with his camera off. He says 1 sec, so I will give an opportunity to I guess straighten himself out. Oh yeah, there's that noise. Is that you? Oh, that's Plunchcast making that noise.
Yeah,
Let me put you in the back for a second. When you're ready, just type in the private stream, and then I'll bring you back on. Okay. So we'll do that. So that way, we don't hear. Because I already have to deal with Tim Olson's public eatery and whatever nonsense that's going on behind them. Because people want to bring in their outside noise to my safe space, and no, that's not happening. My safe space is my safe space. See, I bring the German on, and he respects my safe space, but the rest of you guys want to just disrespect it and just make me feel afraid in my own home. Not gonna happen. Okay, this is last match. Yes, number 2. Wait, crown number 2. Like, what is? I don't know what that means. Elasma was jealous. Jealous of what? Wait, what does Nomad say? Here we go. Elasma confirmed taking Raptor's monetization from some. I did no such thing. I did not, listen. I can't help if YouTube is not cooperating with Raptor. He can still get monetized. I've had those conversations with him about getting monetized and how to get himself back on that. So honestly, he just has to do more EFAPs. Like less watching 5 minutes of Jack Show straight and do more EFAPs. So we're not watching 5 straight minutes of Jack Show crap. So that's just what that's what I think happened. I think when it came to the EFAPs, he just let shit play for like too long, and then he would pause and then do the commentary. It's like you want to try to let shit play for only a little bit and then offer as much commentary. That way, it definitely becomes transformative. That's what I think happened with him, but we'll see. Mads Bennis, I just felt my A1C level rise watching that, and I just got a cavity. Oh, okay. That's not good. Fix that cavity. You got to fix that cavity.
Blood sugar related?
See what you did?
Yeah, I think it's referring to the Spider-Girl clip, so yeah. Oh, look, wait. Old Dirty Fences. I used to be in the church of Subgenius. Is that are you trolling me or is that for real? Because if you're not trolling me and that's real, I want to hear your experiences on that. You got to share with us about that. What it was like to be in the church of Subgenius, because it was the first time I was hearing about it. And I'm like, yeah, I got to dedicate one stream to that one day. I do, because to get all that information and put it on this stream it would deviate from the art aspect of this. Because I only wanted to focus on Mavrides' art, but I mentioned the church thing because it was part of his creative endeavors. So I felt it was just good and relevant to include that. So Lady Shadowban says, KSS, you're finally here. To which KSS says, happy birthday, Lady Shadowban. So there you go. Okay, he says here. Okay, so let me put him on now. Okay. Plunchcast, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, something's up with my camera, so I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to bring that on. Not sure what's going on. Apologies to Chet and everybody else. And hey, Helmet.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
You too, bud. Sorry you can't see me and all that junk. I'm not. It says it's video's working. Add cam, edit cam.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. It's fine. Yeah, I won't worry about it. But so okay, so you have wait. I'm the greatest potato artist in all of Ireland. I don't know where you got that from, but that's not me, Fascist Kirk. That's not me. I'm gonna get my mic for a second because I have a call I'm going on. So hold on.
Potato sculpting.
Helmut, take over the stream for a second. I got to close my window.
I think somebody's trying to steal his car.
Well, I mean, how good is the car?
You hear the beeping in the background?
It's probably a ghetto-ass car.
Or maybe Elasmet forgot to switch the batteries in his fire alarm.
Maybe he drives around in a gremlin.
Okay, so I had to go and close my window, and this is the content you put out there. You actually put out, like, I don't know what you guys were talking about, but it has nothing to do with Paul Mavrides.
Did you check on your jalopy?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, right now, Plunchcast, your camera is definitely not working. So look, this is what we see. We see nothing, which is fine because it's actually very interesting. You're actually invisible. I've never seen that before. You're very invisible. As Sark says, the Q word, which I'm not going to read because I'm not getting struck. Oh, he bounced because I guess he's having some technical issues. So, but yeah, so okay, so he'll take care of that hopefully. Getting back to the
how do you feel this artwork impacts underground artists today? Do you see any influence from his style of this artist?
Not in okay. Are we talking about within Comicsgate? Okay,
I mean, like just underground artists in general. I mean, Comicsgate is such a small subset of indie comic books. I don't even really see it. I mean, the CG
Yeah.
Kings, I don't even see them as actual indie comic book creators.
I don't either. But in terms of like, I guess you mean like in terms of like quote unquote amateurs, which I don't like to use that word, but let's just for sake of brevity, we'll use it. So if you're talking about like amateurs, no, I think they're copying the '90s image style. We're seeing a lot of that, and my personal view is it's boring. It's boring, and I'm just like, it's another one of these comics. Yes.
Well, I mean, that's the popular thing from the '90s, but the '90s had a lot more variety than they did than they do now. So I'm just saying.
No, they have variety. I mean, look, there was the Max, there was the Crow, there was the Tick. So there was variety. It's just right.
Vampirella. You had like I said, you
Vampirella.
had Ralph Snart. You had I mean, like now Comics had a bunch of titles still out. I remember I had I'm Married with
Am I
Children.
here?
Yes, we see you.
we see you.
Yeah. Like
Save
I
us some
said,
Tim Olsen, please. Save us some Tim Olsen.
Oh, hey, somebody's wearing some Megadeth.
Wait, we have some sound business advice from Fascist Kirk. He
yeah.
says,
Oh,
best way to win any business is to shit
I
on
have that.
competition and not. What's up?
oh no, I was just going to say to Tim that I have the Misfits. I got sent all the way from, hey, is it Wisconsin that's below Washington or near Washington? Underneath
DC or
Canada? Yeah,
Washington
underneath
State.
Canada.
Washington State.
Under Canada. Right. So one of my vinyl community friends from there sent me a box, like a $150 just for the freight, right? Box of music stuff, albums that I lost as a kid, and a Misfits t-shirt. And yeah. So
I'm
I'm
on the hunt for vinyl bootlegs of like their live shows from back in the day.
All right, I mean to cut the conversation short, but I want to address Master
Yep.
Panda. He said, Tim asked a good question. Are indie guys even doing stuff like this? If so, I haven't seen it, but I'd like to see it. No, they're not doing stuff like this. And the ones that do get shunned, they get mocked, they get ridiculed, they get I mean, the memes kill, so that's a whole other thing. But no, they get told, Master Panda, that they have no business doing comics, that they're amateurs.
Yeah.
You have guys like Dan Lawless going out there saying that this shit doesn't belong in indie comics. And I'm like, dude, this is what indie comics is. Okay, this is not mainstream. This is indie comics. This is without the censorship of publishers, without the suppression of artists who objectively may be better than you, but they're not telling you, or they're not lording over you. You know,
the problem. The problem. Lesmet, is that these a-holes from the former X can't make it in mainstream have decided to come into the independents and take over and tell the independents what they can and can't do. Right?
And no offense to Dan Lawless, but he can go fuck himself.
That was in my head, but I don't want to say that. You know?
Well, I said what I said about Lawless in my documentary, and I'll keep it like that. But the sentiment I agree with, which is these creators, I hate that word. These artists, and no disrespect to their accomplishment or their skill,
right,
but to come into this space and dictate who can and cannot make a comic and say your shit is not good because you don't draw like this, like, bro, you're not the market. The market decides what's good. The market decides what's legacy. That is a point that has been made over in these streams. What is that?
You're able to see it, but actually, I think I'm
That
delayed.
looks kind of cool.
Hold on, give me 1 sec. I am delayed on the YouTube, so I'll go back to the thing so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so this is a handmade comic, right?
That's actually kind of cool.
This is the indies, right? This is the indies. So this is friends of mine here in Whangarei put this out as a little zine from their comic book club thing, gathering that they have every second Sunday here in Whangarei, in my city.
Right, okay.
And my friend, right, the one who did this, basically just put out the 4th issue in 2 years of his comic book. 4th issue. Okay. 4 issues in 2 years. Just think of that, right? 4 issues.
Right, that's productivity, and a lot of these indie artists that we spotlight here,
hold on. Let me finish this. Plus, he works full time as a graphic designer.
Mhm.
Plus, he does commissions as a painter and airbrush artist,
Right.
and is married and goes to shows and runs a club, comic book club, with about 20, 30 kids and adults every second Sunday. And in that same time,
Mhm.
he's helped me run about, a couple of my conventions.
Right.
But he put out 4 comics on his own, did all the artwork. It's not black and white, but he colored some of them. And he also had guest cover artists. 4 issues, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Full-
Productivity. Yeah, sounds like your friend
Yeah.
is disciplined.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that you got so-called pros can't put one out in 4 or 5 years. But they're the professional artists. These are the guys who tell you you can't do shit and this is what a comic is. This is not what comic art should be like, right? And
Right.
you can't do stuff like this out here in indie comics because people will get pissed off at you because it's not professional. You can't do stuff like this because this isn't indie comics. This is what indie comics
that looks
is.
like what we're showing. That style that you were
Yeah.
showing, Punch Out, looks kind of similar to what we're doing with Mavrides with American Splendor. So yeah.
look,
yeah,
this is indie comics. And I hate these a-holes thinking that, like, well, what is and what isn't indie comics, they should just leave. Just leave it to the actual indie creators.
And here's what, and I don't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say, here's what I think, Punch. Here's what I'm seeing, and you see it also with these artists that I spotlight with the indie comic outlier streams. Is their legacy, the legacy they leave is one of consistent work. You talked about your buddy, how he did four comics in 2 years.
Yeah,
exactly. That's why
100 pages, 100 pages in 2 years. It's 100 pages a year. It's 2 pages
so he did
a week.
100 pages total, or 100 pages a year.
Yeah, it's like I think it's a 24-page comic book with extra pages on each issue, plus the covers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
plus the artwork for the stickers, for the sketches. He did a box set with 4 just out. I think it's put away, but like ran out on the first print. By the way, also not crowdfunded, self-published, self-printed, self-paid.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Plunchcast. I had to address KSS because KSS is being rude to you, Plunchcast. Look, Plunchcast is trying to talk here, and you have to type this in the comment to derail the conversation. You're inconsiderate, KSS. Absolutely inconsiderate. Leave Plunchcast alone. I'm sorry he did this to you, Plunchcast.
Shame on you.
He's a rude man. So, but
Right
anyway.
there, right back at you.
Oh wait, what is that? Hold on, let me see.
Right
Wait,
back at you, KSS. Right back at you, KSS.
Is that a spoiled banana?
It's getting old. I'm not going to eat it. It's just like overhyped. Right.
Aren't you attracting flies in your room right now? Aren't there like flies there?
Yeah, it was sandflies. It's in a bag. It's annoying me.
Oh, like, what are you doing? Oh, wait, did I take him out? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take you out. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's in a bag. It's in a bag.
Digital Nomad says comics aren't just one style. It's a multitude of styles, and people will read what calls out to them. Yeah, and they should be given the opportunity to let it happen.
They're trying. They're trying these has-beens. That's what I call them. These has-beens.
They are.
They're trying to make indie comic books an industry, and it's not an industry.
Yeah.
You can't make something that's underground an industry. That's the whole point of it being underground or indie.
Well, here's what you do, Tim. Here's what you do. You just do what you got to do. Like, okay. So here's what I say to you, artists that watch these streams. Look at the example that these guys have presented. Whether it's Gilbert Shelton, whether it's Paul Mavrides, as I stated, things like that. Like, look at what these guys have done. How they've come together. They've collaborated. What they produced. How they've done it. This is that the way they did it. They just got it done. They worked together, they got it done, and they produced a sense of legacy. Let me show you some of the chat comments for a second. So Guy says, I'm honestly onto this different style stuff. I thought I was just too old for superheroes, but I think most people are sick of it. Yeah, I think there's a consensus, Guy, that comics are only superhero based, and it's not. And I'm even seeing some independents that are doing that, like just guys that are just putting comics together that are like definitely inspired by superhero stuff. And I'm like, yeah, people are kind of like done with it. It's you want something different, or what are you showing me there? Hold on, what is that?
Yeah, we're talking about different comics, right? This is from Chopper Check Comics. This came out in 2002.
Right.
Yeah,
look at that. Look at that. Exactly. Very experimental style. Very experimental style.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and that. Yeah, I'm digging that. Oh, that's a dinosaur in a tractor. Oh, that's awesome. A dinosaur versus a tractor. I'm all for that.
Yeah, that does look like a cool board.
Ooh, noise background. Okay. Now Sark says, alas, Matt, never been on a group stream before. So rude, talking over the guests. I'm not being rude, Sark. I just have to run the stream. That's all. But I am trying to let people speak. So yeah, okay, it says it is a brown banana. It's a banana of oh, you jerk. You actually typed that? I can't believe that. And of course, Gee's being all inflammatory. So good for you. Good for you. Massive Man is, I think superheroes have been played out by both mainstream comics and Hollywood. It's time for a new creative movement, if that's not too bold. Honestly, and let me ask the chat. Okay, let me ask Plungecast and then Tim Olsen. Actually, put that up a second. Plungecast, what was that you were showing me?
Put it up. This is Action Man Adam. I picked this up like 20 years ago. I think it might have been 20 years ago.
20 years? Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
Now, here's the thing, right? This is what independent comics is all about, which, like the has-beens don't understand.
Right.
Is that when you're, and this is a guy who did it himself. Stickers.
Your camera froze. I don't know if it's, oh, there you go. Okay, I see it.
Okay, so
yes,
he sent, and this was at a convention here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little, can you see that? Yeah, so he put that out. So I picked this up, and look at the shape of this book.
Oh, nice. Yes, very, very unconventional page style.
And sketched cover.
Oh,
right? So
okay.
Each
there you go.
So it's a one-off one. And then you got the artwork inside, of course.
Yeah.
And here's this really, really great thing. Check this out. I'm trying not to rip it.
Oh, okay. The fold-out page. Okay.
But it's, yeah, look at how crazy that is, Lesmat.
No, it's different. It's definitely experimental. Yeah.
Think of how much effort it took. It's not like a stuck-on page.
Right.
It's actually the actual page for this dude to actually design it so it's part of the thing, right? So this is the great thing about, and that's Jason Valentine Burt was the guy who came up with this. And it's just, this is it's the sky's the limit when it comes to indies. You shouldn't be able to, try to say, well, this isn't indies, this isn't that. It's like the has-beens have, like, what Helmet said, or Tim said, the has-beens have no idea what it is because they've never been a part of that, growing up in it, and going to groups, going to clubs, getting beside other creators and learning what isn't the Marvel style, what isn't the DC style, what is the other style. We are the alternative, we are the others, we're the independents who just do it for the love of it, right?
You mentioned something interesting about like going to like clubs or actually meeting with like actual people, like in physical presence. And I talked about that earlier. It's like, you need that because we're salesmen. Well, salesmen, you want to. You got to pitch your stuff and you got to pitch it properly because people are buying it because you're the brand. People are buying into you. Not they don't just see the book and like, oh, I'll buy the book. No, they want to see you because you're the celebrity. You're the what do you call it?
The face of the business, right? The face of the creation of the work. You're the face of the work.
Well, I was going to say to Master Panda, I don't think it's a new movement or craze. It has to be organic. Just saying, oh, let's create a new movement. I don't think it works that way. I think it has to be organic. And in the case of like CG, that it was something that happened organic, but now that it's not, just creating a new movement for the sake of it. Yeah, just creating something for the sake of creating it. It's just not organic. It's just not going to work. Yeah, that's just me though. So,
I think the other thing is that when you put roadblocks in front of people, the punks will go to the clubs and gather their own little stages to play on. They'll go to the pubs. They'll go to the disco. Like in the old days, it'd be like a play to DIY. Exactly.
Holy mackerel!
That's independence, right?
Yes.
That's basically it. DIY. It's like doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Getting to find somebody and putting it together. You know,
Mhm.
like this is the point that these guys who come out of the studios, like Marvel,
Right.
DC, that sort of shit, the top 5, is they don't have anybody anymore on their case saying, hey, that page
Yeah.
needs to be in so we can go to production. The letterer needs it, the colorist needs it, the printer needs it. When you're ready, we got to get the coloring done, we got to get this, otherwise we'll get behind schedule. Now they don't really have to do anything like that. There is no schedule to them. They do it when they want, when they feel like
Right.
it. That's why you have 5-year-old late books, 4-year, 3-year, right? And then then they have the goal to turn around and say, well, this isn't comics. It's like, go fuck yourself.
You sound, you know what's funny? If I said what you said, the chat would accuse you of being an angry Pock. But for some reason, you get away with saying that. If I even breathe any of that, they call me angry Pock.
Oh,
And then
whoa, calm down now, man.
That's-
Did
I
Tim
think-
just tell me to come? I'm sorry. You
Yeah.
lost it. I'm sorry. Oh,
I
he's
think
back. There
that's
you go.
I think that's because they know that I'm a straight shooter. I don't bullshit. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll say I'm wrong. I'm the monkey man, according to some clown from Australia. So, yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
I think I know.
Oh, God,
I think I know
not
you're
that
talking about.
asshole.
Are we talking about the author of Slimed?
Yeah. I didn't even. I saw the title and I went like, I'm not even gonna watch the video because I know he's got nothing actual
Person.
worthwhile to listen to. Yeah.
Wait, Punchcast. I did that Pastor Kirk call me a person of potato.
Yeah. So you're a pop.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I
Pop's
feel
pretty.
about that.
Well, you're a pop star
See,
and indie comics, so that's cool, man.
see,
Wear it. Wear it
Real-
like a badge.
real indie creators, everything we do is on a grassroots level. So
Yeah.
every W we get is something we earned. We didn't get it from being like, well, I worked for Marvel or DC at
Yeah.
some point, or I drew Green Lantern, or
Yeah.
I used to draw like Captain America or Cable or something.
I'm sorry, Tim. KSS has mentioned a comment, and this totally derailed what you were saying. Wait, so Plunchcast speaks of sophistication, which is true. He isn't a lispy. I'm not Puerto Rican, KSS. I'm not Puerto Rican. So for that, just for that, I'm not going to read any more of your chats for the day. And you should be thankful. You should be thankful I didn't put you in the band zone with Gee and Colors and Jabbage. See, look, this is why she's in the band zone. Can we trade it? You think of property, right, Cal? You think of property. Just because Plunchcast and me, we're people of color, we have something to say, you think you can just trade it like property? Of course you do. That's why you're in the band zone. I am here for the faceless, and I advocate for the voiceless. Shit, wait, what are you showing me there? What is that?
Melbourne, number 1 to 3. That's cool, man. It's like a CD. It's like so cool.
That's like a condom. Do you make Melvin condoms?
Oh, he's muted.
So,
It's beautiful.
good. That means
Yeah,
the music won't get me
It's
struck.
like
No,
a CD size,
no,
right?
no,
it's so
it's-
cool.
It's not. It's not. It's got like It's got like stickers.
Oh, right. It's a goodie bag.
Yeah.
Plunge mat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Plunge. I can't believe she wrote that. She actually
Hey,
typed that.
Gerald.
See, it's
No,
got-
okay, it says-
Promotion package for Melvin.
it's
Wait, what is
just-
that you showing me?
Just a bunch of merch, like a button.
Oh, you showing buttons now? Now we're doing buttons.
You should
Yeah.
totally
Good
do box. Box are cool.
All right, I'm getting tired here because now the chat is turning on me. Now you cannot replace me. I run these streams. You know what? Hold on a second. I gotta wait. What are you showing me there? Nothing. What is that?
Oh, yeah. So, returning back to the start about my mate.
Yeah.
So, this is the box set he released after releasing the first 4, right? So,
Oh, nice.
Which meant I had to buy, I bought 2 issues of each copy from the other ones, got 1 issue signed and 1 unsigned. And then he goes and releases this when he releases number 4. So I go, well, I can't miss out on this. So I bought this and I said, well, I'm going to give my 2 American friends a signed copy and the other copy. And then I get to
Nice.
keep this for myself. So that people
Yeah.
get to enjoy it. So each
It's a
one,
good,
each one of them comes like this.
Now
a
that
box,
is cool.
right.
Yeah, that's a nice box set. That really is nice.
And the cool thing about this is a DIY box set. So it's not
DIY.
so it's not a printed box set. It's not you know, it's like the professional box
Right.
set. It's just one of those little boxes that you buy, you know, at the stationery shop.
Right.
And
Nice.
so-
That is very good. That is nice presentation.
and very cheap as well to do if you want to do that for yourself. And here's the thing, we're indies, we don't really have to put everything 100% like Marvel or DC, because people know we're independents and we can save money by that and keeping the cost down, especially now with the freight. So the other thing he did was he had these you know, these are actual laminates, whatever they call them, stickers. Yeah, and there's two different, so he made two different versions of them. Now, so inside, what you get is you get your, because I bought 2 copies each, so I ended up with 4. But like you get like issue, where's book 1?
Wait, hold on a second. Plunchcast, I'm sorry. Kid says, hey, congratulations, you're our new Elasmat. You can't make cut Plunchcast Elasmat. There's only one Elasmat. They're my therapy dogs. They're not. Stop, Kid says, they're my therapy dogs.
Is it because of the bald head?
I think that's what it is. I you know what? They can't have more than one pocket on the screen because it makes them angry and afraid every time.
Right. So this is the 4 books he released, right? So number 1 came out, had to go to reprint. He did about 100 copies, so I had to go reprint maybe another 50 or something. It's in the shops locally. So he had number 2 is over here, right?
Okay.
Chronicles of the Wasteland. He had one of our friend do a cover for covers, and he put it on the back cover. High quality card cover. So
colors. Stop it. I'm sorry. I'm changing the colors. Yeah.
So the cover is actually floppy and stuff. So you can see all the artwork, right? So there's lots of artwork in here. And then
Stolen Valor Pop. I'm sorry, Plunge, because I know you're showing me this, but the chat is getting really hostile. Stolen Valor Pop. We voted you off the island. Plungecast is a guest. He didn't come here to start nothing. You guys are trying to pitch us against each other. It ain't gonna work because we're unified. We are unified. I'm sorry, Plungecast. The chat has to be put on blast.
This is fun. So this is issue 3, all right? And then another cover art. And then you got the last one, issue 4, which is bigger, by the way. It's actually thicker by a couple more extra pages. And then, you know.
I want to like this Plungecast, but KSS is getting really hostile for no reason.
This is also based around the whole Mad Max thing. He's a huge fan of Mad Max. Now, the stickers, right, as Tim was showing. And then I'll finish off with one story after this about Peter David. So you had that. Right. That's the group they run, Make Comics New Zealand. Had the pinup, right? Cardstock.
Right. Yep.
Another pinup, right? Another pinup.
They are massive. They are.
And the sticker set.
Yeah, they're
the sticker sets. Because Tim pulled it up to remind me, right? So you got all the sticker sets there as well. And then each one comes with a sketch, individual sketch. There's 50 of these made.
An actual nice sketch.
Yeah. And, you know, there's supposed to be an adult sketch out there. And I said, why don't you give it to me? He goes, well, I don't know. But, like, you know, I said, I wouldn't mind it because it would just be, you know, in there. But, like, this is, you know, give or take 2 years worth of work. And all the, you know, all the prelim stuff and everything here to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, this is what indies create and actually put out, you know.
Coming soon, Melvin brand condoms. Put the action back in action.
Gosh.
So one more bit, and then I'll pop off and leave you to your chat and everything. I'll join you to chat and watch you guys. So 2009, right? Peter David came to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And this is my Peter David story. And at that time, Star Trek movie came out, and the guys were promoting it by giving away free caps. And I was like, whoa, can I have one, bro? You know, he was going around, and I was like there promoting this and looking after a store for one of my comic store friends at that time. This is like, you know, 2002. It's like,
right.
Shit, is that 21 years ago? Shit. So, yeah. So Peter David, so this hat came out, and I looked over to Peter David, hey, Peter, can you sign this hat? And he looked at me like, I had nothing to do with that. I said, like, yeah, but it's the only thing I've got that will stay with me. He goes, oh, you can't wear it. He said, I know, I won't wear it. You know, I just want your signature, and so I got his signature on there.
Oh, nice.
And then I also,
oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, actually, the story about it, well, I don't have anything to do with it. Was this book? Sorry, apologies. It wasn't the hat, but yeah, he said, you know, I didn't have anything to do with it. I said, yeah, but you were here with me, so you know, we'd love to have you on the book that I'm in, to just on the cover, so it'd be memorial. Yeah, so he was a good, cool dude. He was a bit standoffish because he's always with his notebook and coming up with ideas. And this is something I think all creators or writers or comic book people, you know, are coming up with ideas. Always have a notebook. You guys got a phone now with you. You leave your computer on at night if you use a computer, and just have a dream. If you wake up and go, that's a great idea, start typing. Wherever you are, use your phone to record your idea. Right. Yesterday I was in a dentist chair and I was like going, okay, so you know, how do I do this game? I'm trying to come up with a board game, and I'm, you know, going in and out of like closing my eyes and dozing off on the anesthetic. So wherever you are, don't waste your time when you're coming up as, you know, creating stuff, because no matter what opportunities you have, if you don't write it down, or the ideas that you have, sorry, if you don't write it down, you'll forget it. We don't have that, you know, our memories aren't that great. So do write it down. If that's the only thing I can think about, it's like always note down any stupid ideas you might have, because you never know how good it'll be. And don't be in a rush to complete something. Like in the sense,
you know what I do, right? When I get an idea,
like,
if I'm outside and I get an idea, I just take out my cell phone. I just text it to myself. That's actually how I write my stories. Like if I come up with a segment of a story, I just text it to myself. That way I can come back to it when I actually do the comic.
Yeah, I think people.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One more. I think people get all these, you know, these like 2 minute like quick like what's got like fast videos of people drawing and people writing. They think everything is happening so fast. Comics take a lot of time, and they do, but they don't take 5 years.
Well, okay. First of all, Plungecast was just giving a dissertation, and you have to come in here with violence to provoke friction. There's no friction. Plungecast is not here to be the new Elasmat. There's only one Elasmat. That's me. You're stuck with me. I don't care what you think. Too bad. Plungecast was giving some good, interesting information and showing some good stuff, because Plungecast is you know, he's our fellow Kiwi, and he's also
a monkey. He's the Monkey King.
Please don't tell them. Don't tell that to the people there. They'll run with that.
I am though. I was actually thinking of getting a monkey mask.
Oh wait. Oh, we're about to end the stream in a bit, but look who's here. Oh wait, I gotta play this. F you, Jabbage. I'm sorry, Jabbage, because you're in the ban zone. Jabbage. Yeah, his name is Jabbage.
All right, Elasmat, I'm going to pop off and let you guys carry on. Thank you for having me. I thought I'd jump in there, tell a little couple stories there. Helmet, nice meeting you, man. And Tim, we'll see you sometime next month.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you haven't subbed to his channel, Plungecast, you know, go sub to. I think KSS put the link in the chat, but KSS is good for putting links other than mine. That's what he does. So give Plungecast a sub. He does his own YouTube streams. He promotes other creators. He had me on the stream before, so it was a nice conversation. He's got lots of
Comics. Too, so. Yeah, it's Plunge Comics that we have the comic stuff on.
Hail the Monkey King. I feel we're calling you that, but if you want to call it, I'll call you.
I'm okay with that. That's why I'm with the bananas. Me and KSS were fighting over bananas yesterday, so we're good.
Can we call you MK for short?
Yeah. MK Ultra. Oh, Alpha. MK Alpha.
Oh, I was about to say I just not entered another watch list. There you go. Says, before you go, let me just read this chat in case it has anything to do with you. My phone is full of concepts and he's talking about when putting out ideas. My phone is full of concepts and dialogue between random characters and text messages to myself. It probably looks like I have a multiple personality disorder on my phone. Same. Yeah, same. Yep. That's a good point. Well, New Elasmat's camera is night and day better. Stop calling him New Elasmat. This is. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Wrong button.
I have 4 lights. I have 4 lights on.
Well, okay, so but still, like, you are Plungecast. You. All right, now I can't see you. You're okay. Well, my point is that you are an entity and a power to be reckoned with. So for them to say that you're me and I'm not is wrong. It's
I'm on the other side of the world as well, right?
That is true.
Yeah, it's 1:50 in the afternoon Friday here.
So
Now,
is new Asmat like new Coke? You know, like Coca-Cola Classic was better.
And that's why I'm offended for Plunge, guys. He's not the new me, because everything that's new is always bad. He's not new Elasmat. There's only one Elasmat, and that's me, Kansas. And I'm sorry if that offends you. I'm sorry if you hate that Pogs get together and can actually have a conversation that can be friendly and inspiring, but I'm sorry. I'm not being rude.
Wait, better yet. He's Crystal Pepsi because there's no color.
I actually like Crystal Pepsi when it came out.
I was thinking it was Coke
That's all
Zero.
right.
Coke Zero is better.
What the wait? You're the Elasmat. You put the in front of it. I am the Elasmat now. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Boo! Oh, you know what? Okay, you know what? That's it. I'm in the stream. Goodbye, everybody. You know what? I'm never coming back. I'm gonna unalive myself. Goodbye.